Welcome to the Growth Room. Today we're exploring one of the most eye-opening personal finance books ever written, The Millionaire Next Door. In this audiobook summary, you'll discover why most real millionaires don't live flashy lifestyles, how ordinary people quietly build extraordinary wealth, and the habits that separate the wealthy from the merely high-income earners. Think about the word millionaire for a second. What comes to mind? A sleek, six-figure sports car screaming down a city street? A sprawling mansion with a pristine infinity pool? Flashy designer clothes, luxury watches, and high-end VIP parties? That is the image mainstream media, pop culture, and social media feed us every single day. We are conditioned to believe that living a wealthy life means spending an astronomical amount of money. But what if I told you that the vast majority of true millionaires in our society don't live like that at all? What if the person driving the luxury German sedan is actually drowning in debt, while the person driving a 10-year-old pickup truck is sitting on a multi-million-dollar investment portfolio? This groundbreaking realization forms the foundation of The Millionaire Next Door. Published after a massive, decades-long academic research project by Dr. Thomas J. Stanley and Dr. William D. Danko, this book shattered the illusions of the financial world. The authors weren't just guessing or sharing anecdotal opinions. They were world-class researchers who went straight to the source. They spent 20 years conducting comprehensive surveys, interviewing thousands of high-net-worth individuals across America, and analyzing hard data. They studied people living in upscale neighborhoods, expecting to find the secrets of the rich. Instead, they discovered something completely unexpected. Many people living in large houses and driving luxury cars had very little net worth. Conversely, the people who actually possessed massive wealth were frequently found in completely ordinary middle-class neighborhoods, living right next door to everyday families. The core problem Stanley and Danko identified is a massive cultural confusion between two completely different concepts: high income and true wealth. Most people look at someone with a massive salary, say a surgeon making $500,000 a year, and instantly think, wow, they are incredibly wealthy. But wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is what you accumulate. Wealth is what you keep. If that surgeon earns $500,000 but spends $510,000 annually on an elite lifestyle, country club memberships, luxury leases, and high-end designer goods, they are not wealthy. In fact, they are hyper-dependent on their next paycheck, hyper-vulnerable to economic shifts, and living on a financial tightrope. True wealth is your net worth, your assets minus your liabilities. It is the real estate, the stocks, the bonds, and the private businesses you own that generate value over time. To truly understand why some people build wealth while others just look like they do, the authors developed a famous mathematical benchmark. It is a simple formula to determine your financial efficiency, and you can calculate it right now. Take your current age and multiply it by your total annual realized income from all sources. Not just your salary, but any bonuses, side hustles, or investment returns. Once you have that number, divide it by 10. This resulting figure is your expected net worth. Based on how your actual net worth compares to this benchmark, the authors divide the population into two distinct categories: PAWs and UAWs. A PAW is a prodigious accumulator of wealth. These are the financial superstars. If your actual net worth is double your expected benchmark or higher, you are a PAW. You are incredibly efficient at turning income into wealth. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum is the UAW, or the underaccumulator of wealth. If your actual net worth is half of your expected benchmark or lower, you are a UAW. You might have a massive income, but you are highly inefficient at saving and investing. You are spending your wealth before it ever has a chance to grow. Let's bring this to life with a real-life contrast. Imagine two professionals, Dr. Anthony and Mr. Bob. Both are 45 years old and both earn $200,000 a year. According to our formula, their expected net worth should be 45 multiplied by 200,000 divided by 10, which equals exactly $900,000. Dr. Anthony is a classic UAW. He feels intense professional pressure to look successful. He drives a brand new leased luxury SUV, lives in an expensive neighborhood with high property taxes, sends his kids to elite private schools, and frequently dines at five-star restaurants. Because his lifestyle eats up almost every dollar he makes, his actual net worth is only $300,000. Mostly just the equity in his heavily mortgaged home. He is living paycheck to paycheck, terrified of an economic downturn, yet unable to stop spending because he is trapped by his own image. Now look at Bob. Bob is a specialized welder who owns a small, unglamorous contracting business. He lives in a quiet, pleasant, middle-class neighborhood. He drives a reliable, well-maintained Japanese sedan that he bought cash 3 years ago. Bob wears regular, durable clothes and enjoys simple hobbies like backyard barbecues and camping with his family. But Bob is a PW. He has automated his investments for decades, consistently putting money into low-cost index funds and expanding his business equipment. His actual net worth is $2 million. Bob doesn't look rich to a random stranger on the street, but he possesses immense financial freedom. He doesn't answer to a demanding boss, he has no toxic debt, and his assets generate enough passive income to sustain his family for life. Bob is the classic millionaire next door. Why does this dynamic happen? Because building wealth requires a psychological trait that our modern consumer culture actively fights against: delayed gratification. It requires the emotional maturity to say, I could buy that shiny new toy today to impress people I don't even like, or I can invest that money today so my future self can enjoy total freedom. True millionaires understand that every dollar spent on a depreciating luxury item is a dollar that can never work for them in the market. They view money not as a tool to buy things, but as a tool to buy independence. For young professionals, students, and families starting out, understanding this distinction is the single most important step toward financial freedom. If you measure your success by the logos on your clothes or the badge on your car, you are setting a trap for yourself. Lifestyle inflation, the habit of increasing your spending every time your income goes up, is the ultimate killer of wealth. The moment you start earning more, society expects you to upgrade your life. But the millionaires next door resist this trap. They maintain a stable, comfortable, but modest lifestyle even as their income climbs, funneling the entire surplus into building productive assets. They know that looking rich is a poor man's game, while being rich is a quiet, liberating reality. Now that we understand the massive difference between looking rich and actually being rich, let's dive into the absolute cornerstone habit of the wealthy: frugality. If you look up the word frugal in the dictionary, you might see definitions like sparing, thrifty, or economical. But the millionaires next door view frugality in a much more powerful way. To them, frugality isn't about deprivation or living a miserable, cheap life. It is about a highly disciplined approach to resource allocation. It means maximizing the utility of every dollar you spend and ensuring that you never waste money on things that do not add genuine value to your life. During their 20 years of research, Dr. Stanley and Dr. Danko noticed a fascinating pattern. When they invited multimillionaires to high-end interview rooms for focus groups, they decided to cater the events with expensive wines, rare cheeses, and gourmet foods, assuming this was what wealthy people expected. To their surprise, the actual millionaires barely touched the caviar or the vintage Bordeaux. Instead, they gravitated toward the simple crackers and tap water. When asked about their lifestyle choices, these self-made millionaires consistently emphasized one phrase: live below your means. Living below your means is the golden rule of wealth accumulation, yet it is shockingly rare in modern society. We live in an era dominated by modern money mistakes like status spending, luxury obsession, and social media comparison. Every single day, your smartphone feeds you an endless loop of people showcasing curated, extravagant lifestyles on Instagram or TikTok. It creates a psychological phenomenon known as keeping up with the Joneses, but supercharged by the digital age. You see a peer or an influencer unboxing a $5,000 designer handbag or vacationing at an exclusive overwater bungalow, and a quiet voice in your mind whispers, "I deserve that too. If I buy that, people will know I've made it." But here is the harsh reality that the authors uncover: spending destroys wealth. When you succumb to lifestyle inflation and buy luxury items to project status, you are making a devastating financial trade-off. You are trading your future freedom for temporary validation from strangers. The millionaires next door are completely immune to this peer pressure. They do not care about impressing the neighbors. They care about financial defense. Think of wealth building like a professional sports team. To win a championship, you cannot just have a high-scoring offense. You must have an elite defense. In the world of personal finance, your income is your offense. If you make $200,000 a year, you have a powerful offense. But if your financial defense is terrible, meaning you have no budget, you overspend on housing, you lease new vehicles every 3 years, and you eat out constantly, your offense won't matter. Your defense will let all that money leak out of your accounts, leaving your net worth at zero. Frugality is the ultimate defensive strategy. It ensures that no matter how much your offense scores, you keep a massive portion of the points on the board. Let's look at how this applies practically to buying a vehicle, which is traditionally one of the biggest wealth-destroying assets for the average person. A typical underaccumulator of wealth, UAW, views a car as a status symbol. They believe that their vehicle reflects their intelligence, success, and social standing. Therefore, they're willing to take on a massive, high-interest car loan or sign a predatory lease agreement just to drive a brand-new luxury vehicle off the lot. The moment they drive that car home, it loses up to 20% of its value. Over the next few years, thousands of dollars in hard-earned cash leak out of their pocket every month to pay for the principal, interest, high insurance premiums, and specialized maintenance. Now, how does a prodigious accumulator of wealth, PAW, buy a car? Stanley and Danko discovered that the average millionaire next door drives a completely ordinary, reliable vehicle, often a used car, a domestic sedan, or a dependable Japanese truck. They rarely, if ever, lease, and they almost never buy brand new. They understand depreciation. They look for a vehicle that has already taken its biggest hit in value, but still has years of mechanical life left. They buy it cash to avoid interest traps, maintain it meticulously, and drive it for 10, 15, or 20 years until it simply can't run anymore. To a UAW, driving a 10-year-old car feels embarrassing. To a PAW, driving a 10-year-old car feels like a badge of honor because they know that the tens of thousands of dollars they saved on car payments are sitting securely in a compounding investment account, earning them passive income every single minute of the day. This frugal mindset extends to every single area of a millionaire's life, from the clothes they wear to the homes they purchase. The authors found that a staggering percentage of millionaires have never paid more than $400 for a suit or more than $150 for a pair of shoes. They buy high-quality, durable goods that last, rather than trendy designer items that go out of style in 6 months. When it comes to housing, they don't buy the maximum amount of home the bank will pre-approve them for. They choose to live in affordable, stable neighborhoods where the cost of living is lower and property taxes are manageable. This creates a brilliant secondary benefit. When you live in a modest neighborhood, your neighbors are also modest. There is no social pressure to upgrade your lifestyle. Your kids go to school with kids who wear regular clothes, your neighbors drive regular cars, and the entire community culture supports saving rather than spending. For students, young professionals, and families looking to build financial freedom, this is the first actionable step. You must audit your spending and build an ironclad financial defense. Stop looking at your income as a license to spend, and start looking at it as a tool to buy your independence. Every time you resist a status purchase, every time you choose a reliable used car over a flashy lease, and every time you choose to cook a meal at home instead of ordering expensive delivery, you are acting like a millionaire. You are choosing to prioritize your long-term peace of mind over short-term vanity. You are laying the indestructible brick-and-mortar foundation of true, lasting wealth. Building on that ironclad financial defense requires a deep look at how we manage our personal resources. In Chapter 3, Stanley and Danko introduce a profound principle. The wealthy do not just budget their money. They are hyper-disciplined with their time and energy as well. There is a direct, undeniable correlation between how much effort you put into managing your finances and how much wealth you ultimately accumulate. The authors discovered that prodigious accumulators of wealth, spend significantly more hours per month planning their financial investments, tracking their expenditures, and consulting with qualified professionals than underaccumulators of wealth, UAWs. This completely shatters another common myth, the idea that wealthy people just coast through life, letting their money grow effortlessly while they relax. In reality, the millionaires next door treat their personal finances like a highly efficient business. Think about how a successful corporation operates. They don't just guess how much money they have or spend blindly based on emotion. They have detailed cash flow statements, regular budget audits, clear long-term goals, and strict asset allocation strategies. Yet, when you look at the average everyday household, most people have absolutely no idea where their money goes. They get paid, they pay their immediate bills, they spend the rest on impulses, and then they wonder why their bank account hits zero at the end of every month. They're working incredibly hard to generate an income, but spending almost zero time planning what to do with that income once it arrives. The millionaires next door do the exact opposite. They understand that time and energy are finite, high-value assets. They allocate a specific block of time every single week or month to review their financial status. They analyze their household budget, track their savings rate, rebalance their investment portfolios, and research tax-efficient wealth accumulation strategies. They make budgeting a non-negotiable family ritual. Now, if you ask a typical UAW why they don't keep a strict budget or plan their investments, they will almost always give you the same excuse. I just don't have the time. But this is a classic modern illusion. These are often the exact same individuals who could spend hours every week scrolling through social media, binge-watching television series, or shopping online for items they don't need. They have the time. They're simply misallocating it. They're spending their energy on temporary entertainment rather than building permanent financial freedom. This is where wealth accumulation strategies become practical. True millionaires don't just save money to let it sit idly in a low-interest checking account where inflation can slowly eat away at its purchasing power. They immediately convert their savings into productive, compounding assets. They pay themselves first. The very moment their income hits their account, a predetermined percentage, often 15, 20, or even 30%, is automatically funneled directly into retirement accounts, low-cost index funds, real estate investments, or business capital. They force themselves to live on the remaining balance. By automating this process, they eliminate the temptation to spend their surplus cash on lifestyle inflation. Why does this long-term thinking work so beautifully? Because it harnesses the extraordinary power of compounding. When you invest consistently over a 10, 20, or 30-year horizon, your money begins to make money, and then that new money makes money of its own. It is a snowball effect that starts small, but eventually becomes unstoppable. The millionaires next door aren't looking for get-rich-quick schemes, volatile meme coins, or speculative day trading options. They are incredibly patient. They are perfectly content with steady, predictable, long-term growth because they understand that wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. For investors, entrepreneurs, and career-driven individuals, the lesson here is crystal clear. You must take active control of your financial architecture. If you want to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, you have to stop treating your finances like an afterthought. Start by dedicating just 2 hours every single weekend to your net worth. Create a clean spreadsheet or use a dedicated budgeting application to log every single source of income and every single expense. Identify the leaks in your financial ship and patch them up immediately. More importantly, define clear, measurable financial goals for the next year, 5 years, and 10 years. Don't just say, I want to be rich. Say, I want to achieve a net worth of $100,000 by age 28 by investing $500 every single month into a diversified index fund. When you bring that level of clarity, precision, and structural discipline to your money, you stop being a passive bystander in your economic life. You stop draining your energy on financial anxiety and start channeling your time into building massive, compounding assets that will protect you and your family for decades to come. As we look deeper into how wealth is sustained or destroyed across generations, Stanley and Danko introduce a highly controversial but incredibly eye-opening concept in Chapter 4, Economic Outpatient Care, or EOC. The authors define economic outpatient care as the substantial financial gifts, subsidies, and cash handouts that wealthy parents consistently provide to their adult children and grandchildren. While these parents act out of pure love, kindness, and a desire to give their children an easier life, the hard research reveals a devastating truth. Excessive financial support completely cripples the recipient's ability to build wealth independently. The data collected in The Millionaire Next Door reveals an ironic paradox. The more economic outpatient care an adult child receives, the less wealth they ultimately accumulate for themselves. Conversely, those adult children who receive little to no financial gifts from their parents are significantly more likely to become highly efficient, prodigious accumulators of wealth. Pause. Why does this happen? Because financial dependence severely breeds financial incompetence. When an adult child is constantly subsidized by their parents, whether it's through paying for their luxury apartment rent, buying them a brand new car, covering their credit card balances, or giving them massive cash injections for their lifestyle, the child never learns how to build a proper financial defense. They never experience the healthy, necessary friction of living within their own means. They become habituated to a lifestyle that their own independent salary cannot support. They live under the permanent illusion that they are wealthy, when in reality, they're simply consuming their parents' hard-earned capital. Think about a young professional who lands a decent corporate job, making $60,000 a year. On that income, they should naturally live in a modest studio apartment, drive an affordable used vehicle, and budget their groceries carefully. But suppose their wealthy parents step in and give them an extra $20,000 a year in assistance to help them live comfortably. What does that young professional do? They instantly upgrade to a luxury high-rise, lease a premium vehicle, and frequent high-end establishments. Instead of teaching that young adult how to save and invest, the parental subsidy teaches them how to expand their consumption. The moment the parental safety net is removed, the child is left financially helpless, possessing a high-consumption lifestyle, massive toxic debt liabilities, and zero asset-building habits. They become lifetime underaccumulators of wealth, UAWs, perpetually waiting for their next inheritance or handout to stay afloat. This brings us naturally into Chapter 5, where the authors discuss affirmative action, family style. This chapter provides an incredible blueprint for families on how to raise financially responsible, independent children who can successfully navigate the world without relying on a parental crutch. True millionaires next door do not hide their frugality from their kids, but they are incredibly careful about how they communicate their wealth. The first rules of raising self-reliant children are simple. Never tell your children that you are wealthy, and do not let them see you indulge in status spending. If children grow up seeing their parents live an ostentatious lifestyle and constantly hearing about how rich the family is, they will naturally develop an attitude of entitlement. They will assume that financial security is a birthright rather than the result of intense discipline, hard work, and consistent delayed gratification. Instead, the millionaires next door raise their children in a normal, unpretentious environment. They teach them the value of labor by encouraging them to get part-time jobs during high school and college. They praise their children for their character, achievements, and internal discipline, rather than their appearance or the material items they possess. They teach them how to budget their allowance, save for their own major purchases, and understand the basic principles of investing from an early age. Furthermore, when it comes to estate planning and inheritances, wealthy paws ensure that any distribution of assets is structured in a way that minimizes dependence. They do not give large, unrestricted cash gifts to adult children who have demonstrated a history of poor financial management. Instead, they reward responsibility. They might provide financial assistance for highly productive endeavors, such as funding a child's higher education, helping with a down payment on a modest primary residence, or investing as a silent partner in a viable, well-thought-out business venture. But they never subsidize everyday lifestyle inflation. For parents, young couples, and families listening to this, the practical application is deeply profound. You must realize that true love does not mean removing all financial obstacles from your children's path. Obstacles, budgeting challenges, and the need to earn one's own way are the exact tools that build financial character, resilience, and wealth-building intelligence. If you want your children to achieve true financial freedom, you must give them the gift of independence. Teach them how to stand firmly on their own 2 feet. Show them how to build an asset column, how to resist modern money mistakes like social media comparison, and how to value the peace of financial security over the fleeting validation of consumerism. By doing so, you are ensuring that your family's financial legacy will not be recklessly squandered in a single generation, but will instead be preserved, expanded, and passed down as a powerful tool for genuine empowerment. Moving forward into Chapter 6, Stanley and Danko explore a vital truth that completely alters how we view daily productivity: the wealthy buy time. This isn't a vague, philosophical statement. It is a highly practical, strategic framework for resource allocation. True millionaires understand an essential economic principle. Time is the only truly non-renewable resource we possess. You can always earn another dollar, build another business, or find another investment, but you can never claw back a single second that has passed. Because of this profound reality, prodigious accumulators of wealth, are incredibly efficient at utilizing their time and energy to maximize their financial output, while under-accumulators of wealth, UAWs, consistently trade their precious time for low-value, short-term distractions or excessive lifestyle maintenance. Let's look at how this plays out in everyday decision-making and productivity. A typical UAW spends an enormous amount of time keeping up appearances or dealing with the fallout of poor financial choices. They spend hours researching the latest luxury consumer goods, arguing over credit card fees, stressing about unpaid bills, or dealing with the complex maintenance of high-end, delicate luxury vehicles in massive, heavily mortgaged homes. They are constantly reacting to financial emergencies because they have built a high-maintenance lifestyle that requires nonstop management. Their time is completely eaten up by the friction of trying to look rich. The millionaire next door, on the other hand, actively uses their money to buy back their time and minimize mental fatigue. They choose simple, highly reliable assets that require very little daily maintenance. They live in manageable homes, drive dependable vehicles that rarely break down, and wear uncomplicated, durable clothes. This simplicity frees up massive blocks of cognitive bandwidth and actual hours in their week. What do they do with that newly recovered time? They reinvest it directly into high-leverage activities. They use it to read educational books, study economic trends, audit their business processes, or deeply analyze their personal investment strategies. They understand that a single hour spent learning how to optimize their tax structure or rebalancing their asset column can yield thousands of dollars in long-term returns. They don't waste time on mundane, low-value tasks that can be cheaply outsourced. If hiring a service to handle lawn care or home maintenance frees up 4 hours of their weekend to focus on scaling their business or planning their portfolio, they will make that trade instantly. To them, money is simply a tool used to buy back freedom and control over their daily schedule. Now let's look at Chapter 7, which focuses on an essential wealth-building lever: find your niche. This chapter examines how career choices, business ownership, and entrepreneurship dictate your financial trajectory. Stanley and Danko's research revealed a striking statistic. A massive percentage of self-made millionaires are self-employed business owners or specialized professionals. They didn't get rich by following the standard, highly crowded career paths that society heavily promotes. Instead, they identified highly profitable, unglamorous niches where competition was low, but demand was consistently high. The authors note that you don't have to invent the next revolutionary tech company, social media platform, or smartphone application to become a multimillionaire. In fact, Most of the millionaires next door own incredibly ordinary blue-collar companies. They are specialized contractors, waste management operators, commercial pest control owners, paving company founders, or agricultural suppliers. These industries are completely ignored by the mainstream media because they lack glitz and glamour. You won't see influencers posing next to a septic tank pumping truck on social media. But from a pure wealth accumulation standpoint, these unglamorous niches are absolute gold mines. Because these industries aren't trendy, they aren't flooded with competitors, allowing disciplined entrepreneurs to command high profit margins. Furthermore, because these businesses operate out of industrial parks or rural areas, the owners aren't subjected to the intense lifestyle pressure found in high-end corporate office towers. A specialized welding contractor doesn't have to wear a $3,000 suit or drive a brand new Italian sports car to impress his clients. He can wear simple work clothes, drive a rugged truck, generate massive business profits, and quietly funnel that entire cash surplus directly into compounding assets. For students, young professionals, and aspiring entrepreneurs, finding your niche requires a major shift in perspective. Stop chasing the trendy, oversaturated fields just because they look cool or carry a certain social status. Look for the gaps in the market, the essential, everyday problems that society needs solved but very few people want to do. Whether it's entering a specialized trade, mastering a complex technical skill, or launching a service-based business in an unsexy industry, finding a unique niche significantly lowers your competitive risk and skyrockets your earning potential. Combine that high earning capacity with the core habits of frugality, structured budgeting, and automated long-term investing, and your path to becoming the next quiet millionaire becomes completely unstoppable. To round out these core principles, let's tie everything together into a practical, actionable wealth-building framework that you can deploy in your own life immediately. It doesn't matter if you're a college student working a part-time job, a young professional climbing the corporate ladder, an investor looking to optimize your portfolio, or an entrepreneur scaling a business. The math behind becoming a millionaire next door is universal, unyielding, and completely within your control. This framework relies on a simple, yet incredibly powerful two-part formula. Maximize the gap between your income and your expenses through ironclad financial defense. Aggressively invest that gap into productive, appreciating assets. The first step in this framework is to completely eliminate toxic debt traps. Millionaires next door understand that high-interest consumer debt, like credit card balances, personal lifestyle loans, and high-end vehicle leases, is the absolute ultimate wealth killer. When you carry a balance on a credit card charging 15, 20, or 25% interest, you are effectively running on a financial treadmill that is moving backward. You are paying a massive premium to consume things today that you cannot actually afford. If you have any form of consumer debt, your absolute number one priority must be to pay it off using a hyper-aggressive repayment strategy, such as the debt snowball or debt avalanche method. Cut your spending to the absolute bone. Eliminate all non-essential luxury items and channel every single available dollar into crushing those liabilities until you owe absolutely nothing to anyone. Once you are completely debt-free, you must immediately establish a robust emergency fund. True financial freedom is impossible to achieve if you're always one unexpected car breakdown, medical bill, or economic down and away from a financial crisis. A proper emergency fund should consist of 3 to 6 months' worth of actual living expenses tucked away in a highly secure, liquid account, such as a high-yield savings account. This fund isn't meant to earn you a massive return. It is there to act as financial insurance. It provides you with psychological peace of mind, ensuring that when life throws a curveball, you never have to liquidate your long-term investments or take on toxic debt to survive. With your defense firmly secured, you can now shift your focus to the offensive side of the wealth-building equation, investing consistently. The millionaires next door don't try to time the stock market, nor do they chase speculative, high-volatility trends. They rely on boring, highly efficient, time-tested asset building. The most practical way to execute this is to automate your investing. Set up an automatic transfer through your bank so that the moment your paycheck drops, a fixed portion, ideally 20% or more, is instantly swept into a low-cost, diversified index fund, a tax-advantaged retirement account, or a real estate fund. By automating this process, you treat your savings like a non-negotiable bill that must be paid. You learn to live comfortably on whatever is left over, effectively neutralizing the danger of lifestyle inflation before it even has a chance to start. As your career grows and your income naturally increases, you must implement the principle of creating multiple income streams. True millionaires rarely rely on a single paycheck. They diversify their financial inflows by building or buying assets that generate cash flow completely independent of their daily labor. This can include dividend-paying stocks, rental real estate properties, peer-to-peer lending, digital products, or equity in small private businesses. Every new income stream you create acts as a new engine accelerating your wealth accumulation, moving you closer to the tipping point where your investments generate more passive income than your living expenses require. Finally, you must adopt a long-term thinking mindset. Wealth building is a quiet, slow, and deeply unglamorous process. It is built on the daily accumulation of tiny, disciplined choices that seem completely insignificant in the moment. Choosing to pack a lunch instead of eating out, choosing to drive a well-maintained used car instead of leasing a new one, and choosing to read an educational book instead of scrolling mindlessly on social media won't make you a millionaire by tomorrow morning. But when you stack those choices day after day, year after year, the extraordinary law of compounding interest takes over. Your small, consistent steps transform into an avalanche of financial momentum, quietly transforming you into the real millionaire next door. Thank you so much for listening to this complete audiobook summary of The Millionaire Next Door. If this breakdown has completely shifted your perspective on money, wealth, and freedom, please take a brief moment to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. We want to hear from you. What is the very first wealth-building habit you're going to implement today? Here at the Growth Room, our entire mission is to provide you with the ultimate digital library for personal transformation. We dive deep into the world's most powerful books covering wealth creation and financial freedom, success and productivity, mindset and self-improvement. By subscribing to the Growth Room, you're making a conscious decision to step away from consumer distractions and step into your full potential. You are choosing to surround yourself with mentorship, strategy, and actionable knowledge that will elevate your life week after week. Real financial freedom isn't about showing off to the world. It is about the quiet confidence of knowing you control your own time. Don't let a hyper-consumer culture trick you into trading your future independence for short-term validation. Build your defense, master your discipline, find your unique niche, and let your money work for you. You have everything it takes to build extraordinary wealth from exactly where you are today. Keep growing, keep investing in yourself, and we will see you next time inside the Growth Room.